Hey, Eric. I got back from the hospital your mom's staying at today. The doc said she's getting discharged next month.
Oh, really? Oh man, I gotta tell you. I thought it was just a broken bone. I had no idea she'd end up staying in hospital this long. Well, I'm pleased she's finally gonna be getting out, you know. She must be so relieved. What did she say?
I guess she is glad, but we're not out of the woods yet, you know? There's still the minor issue of her not being able to walk at all. What are we gonna do about that? She still has to get around on crutches.
Oh, so what?
So, who's gonna look after her? She's gonna be all on her own if she goes back to her place.
Wait a sec, you mean you're not gonna do it?
Me? Are you being serious? How am I supposed to do it? I'm busy with work.
You only work part-time. You've been visiting her in hospital non-stop since she got admitted, taking her things, helping her move around the ward. You're basically already her carer, so you obviously have the time.
I only did those things because you asked me to. It's not like I didn't make sacrifices.
Well, the only difference now is instead of helping her at the hospital, you'll be helping her at home. What's the problem?
To tell you the truth, I wasn't exactly crazy about driving out to the hospital every day either. I only did it because there was no one else. Believe me, I didn't want to. Did you forget how badly she bullies me?
Shouldn't that be past tense? She stopped recently, right? I think she realized the error of her ways because you were so kind to her in hospital, you know? I bet she feels bad about the bullying now since you're constantly going out there to take her things. My mom's changed, Luna.
I'm pretty sure that's only because there are other people around, and she doesn't want them to know how horrible she is to me. She still grumbles and complains about the pettiest things when it's just the two of us. Not only that, but she still barks orders at me over a message just like always.
You're a big girl, babe. You're strong enough to take it. If anyone has what it takes to look after my mom, it's you. All you have to do is help her get around and keep on top of things around the house. I mean, you're so good at it by this point. It would be a shame to let your skills go to waste, right? Right?
All I have to do? You talk about it like it's nothing. Do you have any idea how much of my day looking after your mom eats up? It's not a question of whether I'm capable or not. It's a question of whether I get to live my own life. Besides, my responsibilities would skyrocket. The hospital has been taking care of the food and cleaning until now, but that all fall to me at her place. I'd be going from helping out a little here and there to being her literal full-time carer.
Don't be ridiculous, babe. It's a broken leg, not dementia. There's still plenty she can do. It's fine. Take a chill pill.
The reason I'm saying these things is because it's not fine, Eric. Remember back when all this started? It'll only be while she's in hospital, babe. You can go back to normal when she gets out, babe. What happened to that? You never said anything about looking after her when she gets out, and it's not fair of you to spring it on me like this.
What do you propose we do with her then?
We? She's your mom, Eric, and she hasn't been nice enough to me to warrant me going out of my way to help her. The bottom line is, I won't be looking after her when she gets discharged, and that's final. If you're so worried, look after her yourself. If you want my honest opinion, I think she'd be better off in a care facility till she can walk again.
You want to dump my mom in an old folks' home? She's only in her 60s.
Doesn't have to be an old folks' home. There are all kinds of places that look after the disabled or people who aren't so good on their feet. That way, she'll have a team of trained professionals to help her and be surrounded by people in similar situations. Surely that beats being cooped up at home all on her own with me, dropping by at great inconvenience to myself to provide care I'm not even qualified to give?
God damn it. Well, I can't believe she's finally set to get discharged, and this is your attitude. I'd feel bad about putting her in a facility. Sure, she'd be alone a lot, but she feels comfortable at home.
If you feel that bad, look after her yourself. She's not my problem.
I work like a dog every day at the office to put food on the table for you. You can't seriously be telling me to look after my mom on top of that.
I'm saying figure something out yourself. If looking after her yourself isn't an option, then you'll have to go arrange for her to go somewhere else.
God damn it. How can you be so heartless? This is the woman who gave birth to me we're talking about here.
I know that. She won't let me forget. She uses the fact she's my mother-in-law as justification to treat me like her slave. Believe me, I wanted us to get along more than anything.
Look after her then.
Keyword being wanted. I gave up when I realized what a venomous bully she is. She clearly has no intention of building a healthy, respect-based relationship with me. So why should I go out of my way to help her? She lets herself into her house and throws my cooking and personal belongings in the trash without even telling me. She demands I divorce you every time I have the misfortune of seeing her. Why would I want to care for someone who treats me like that?
That's just what mother-in-laws are like.
It amazes me that you think you can explain this away with a single sentence. How many times have I told you about all the crap she puts me through? In spite of that, you haven't said a single thing to her. It's like you don't even care.
Why rock the boat and let a petty squabble between in-laws turn into a fully fledged family-wide drama? If you guys have beef, you need to hash it out between yourselves.
The reason I'm telling you for the 1,000th time is because this isn't something I can fix on my own. She's your mother, for crying out loud, Eric. You should be the one responsible for arranging her care.
Well, fine. I see how it is. Looks like I'll have to deal with this myself. I need you to carry on looking after her till she gets discharged, but I'll figure something out for when she does.
Really? I'm repeating myself here, but let me make it crystal clear that I will absolutely not drive to and from her house to look after her when she gets out.
Geez, enough already. I heard you. You got some nerve. You know that, woman? I'm busy enough as it is, and now you're palming your jobs off onto me. Everyone knows it's a wife's sworn duty to look after her in-laws, but obviously common sense doesn't apply to you.
Sworn duty? I think that might be pushing it a little. You know, I actually wouldn't mind looking after her if she wasn't so horrible to me.
Whatever, I've heard enough. I'm going to take care of everything to do with her discharge and the arrangements afterwards. In return, I need you to keep your mouth shut about her for a change.
Fine by me, as long as I don't have to look after her.
Fine. Don't forget this conversation, Luna. Luna, I just got done talking with Mom about what's going to happen when she gets out of hospital.
How did it go?
It's good. We made a decision. The move will be taking place next month.
Really? I'm pleased to hear she understands it's for the best. Where will she be moving?
Well, my mom's not the one moving. We are.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Me and you are moving in with my mom next month. I take it you got no objections to that?
What? We're moving in with your mom? Why would you agree to that?
Agree? No, I was the one who suggested it. She said she didn't want to live in a home full of crusty old bedwetters, so I figured me and you moving in with her was the best option.
The best option? How do you work that one out? You mean because I'll be the one responsible for looking after her?
Yeah, you said you didn't want to drive to and from her house to look after her. And to be fair, that would be super inefficient. I thought on it a little, and that's when it hit me. My stroke of genius. I figured if we move in with her, you can look after her without wasting all that time on the road.
What the hell are you talking about? It wasn't the driving part I wanted to avoid. I can't believe you, Eric. The reason I said no is because I don't want anything to do with her. I was able to tolerate her at the hospital because I didn't have to spend much time alone with her thanks to the nurses. I'm not joking when I say I'll have a nervous breakdown if we have to live under the same roof.
You don't know that unless you try.
No, Eric. I know damn well how awful she makes me feel, and I don't need to intentionally subject myself to her company any further to understand. There is no way I'm moving in with her.
Look, think about it, babe. We won't even have to pay rent if we live with my mom. We could save so much money. Mom said we only have to pay for our food. The merits are endless.
This isn't about the money. I can't be under the same roof as your mom 24/7. I'll go insane.
She can't even move without help. What's the worst she could do? A few unpleasant comments here and there, the occasional frown. Jesus, Luna, I thought you were made of stronger stuff than this. I don't get why it has to be such a big deal. Does a frail old lady who can barely move by herself terrify you that much?
I'm not scared. I'm just physiologically impossible for me to live in the same house as her. How would you feel about living under the same roof as someone who hated your guts and went out of their way to make you as miserable as possible?
She's family. What choice do we have?
That's funny. I lost count of how many times she told me I'm not part of your family.
Are you really as tilted over the nonsensical ramblings of an old-age pensioner? Stop being so neurotic.
Not wanting to live with my abuser makes me neurotic? Wow, you really have absolutely no intention of trying to understand how I feel, do you?
Right back at you. You don't understand my feelings either. Why do you think I suggested we move in with her? I did this for you. You said you didn't want to waste time driving to and from her house, so I came up with an alternative. And this is how you repay my kindness.
Kindness? Give me a break!
Enough of this crap. We're moving in with my mom, and that's the end of it. I already told the landlord we'll be leaving next month. Start packing up our stuff. We're moving in the day before her discharge.
Understood. I'll start getting everything together.
What? Am I hallucinating? Did you actually... Whoo! Yippee! Whoop-de-frickin' doodle-doo! I see, babe. This wasn't so hard. Why couldn't you have just been like this from the get-go? My mom said she's gonna fix up that contrarian personality of yours when we live together. She can't wait to have you. She's promised you'll never disobey my orders again once she's done with you. Oh, Luna, you done with everything at the apartment?
Yep. I'm just about to leave and hand the key back to the landlord.
Oh, good. The removal van just got to my mom's place. They're carrying our stuff in now.
Cool.
Jesus, Luna. Some of these boxes are so dusty. Couldn't you have made them look a little more presentable before sending them off with the removal guys? They're gonna think we're poor. And make sure you clean up once we're moved in. I'm not gonna let you make a mess of my mom's house.
Do it yourself.
Hey, don't disobey me, woman. I was at work all day yesterday and I'm tired. Besides, I'm exhausted from changing mom's bed sheets and taking out the trash just now. Hey, wait a sec. Hey, something's not right here. The removal guys only brought my stuff in. What happened to yours? Is there a problem?
Nope, no problems. I'm not moving in with you. Good luck caring for your mom.
You're not moving in with us. What? What are you talking about? This some kind of prank?
I never agreed to move in the first place. That's why I won't be joining you.
But you said... you said you would. Wait a second, let me check the message. Yeah, you said you understood.
That was in response to you ordering me to start packing our things up.
What the hell? How can you do this to me on the day of the move? If you didn't want to come, you should have just freaking told me.
Go on, scroll through the messages again. I think you'll find I told you plenty of times. You just ignored me, as always. You decided we were moving in with your mom without me. So I decided not to come without you. You hardly have any right to complain.
What about my poor mom? I work full time. I don't have time to be a goddamn living carer.
Not my problem. I told you I didn't want anything to do with her. This could all have been avoided if you just listened. Looks like your stubborn arrogance finally came back to bite you in the ass, huh, Eric? She would have kicked the bullying into high gear when she had me at her place. I would have been so dependent on her, I wouldn't have been able to do a thing about it. There isn't a wife on the planet who'd willingly put themselves in that situation.
Forget this crap, Luna. You've had your fun now. Just hurry up and get over here.
No chance.
If you don't come this instant, me and you are getting a divorce. I mean it, I'll do it.
Great. Can't wait.
Huh?
I did this knowing full well it meant divorce. You're a scumbag of epic proportions, and the sooner you disappear from my life, the better.
Who the hell do you think you're speaking to, bitch? You work part-time. Even worse, you're in your 30s. You don't seriously think you can get by without me around to support you.
I'll take a life of potential uncertainty over the one of guaranteed misery I get living as you and your mom's slave and verbal punching bag.
I'll never forgive you for this, bitch. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. If you don't get your ass over here right now, I'm telling my mom. Don't think I'm gonna let you escape. I won't sign the divorce papers. Hello? You there? Luna, answer me. Hey! Luna, please respond. I'm so sorry. I'm begging you to respond.
Hey, Eric. I just got done talking to my lawyer. He said if you refuse to sign the divorce papers, I can take you to divorce court. It sounds like a lot of trouble, but If you won't sign, then I'll have no choice.
Luna, wait, please don't do this. Can't we just talk things through?
What is there to talk about? Asset division?
No, not that. The divorce itself. You're not even letting me have a say. I don't want a divorce.
This is rich. You're the one who threatened me with divorce if I wouldn't move in with you and your mom.
That was just, well, no, I was joking. Or, I just wanted to scare you a little because you made me mad.
That's a shame, Eric, because I do want a divorce. Like, really, really, really badly. We're never getting back together, and nothing you say could ever change that.
Why'd you have to be like this? People move in with their in-laws all the time.
What's your point? That you base all of your actions on what other people do without any thought of your own? I guess your little pea-brain would struggle with something as complex as independent thought. Your mom needs near full-time care. But more than that, her sole purpose for existing seems to be to make my life a living hell. I'd have to be nuts to live with her. I made this all clear before, so you can hardly be surprised. This is your own stupid fault for being too stubborn to listen to me. I can't be married to a guy who's not capable of communicating with me.
I'm sorry, I should have asked you if it was what you wanted. I know I've been an idiot, but I was really worried about leaving my mom on my own.
I understand that, but the responsibility of caring for someone who's almost incapable of moving around on their own is huge. It's not something that should be taken on lightly, and especially not without discussing it properly first. The fact you demand I look after your mom, despite knowing how horrible she is to me, told me all I need to know about how you really are as a person, Eric. Whatever it was I saw in you when we got married, I don't see it anymore. I wouldn't move in with your mother if you paid me.
I'm sure she'll realize what an amazing person you are once we all live together. Yeah, that's it. The only reason she was like that with you up to now is because she doesn't know the real you. Remember when you said before you wanted you and her to get along? Well, this is your chance, babe.
That was before she started bullying me. And please, Eric, you must think I'm a total moron. You told me she was gonna fix up my contrarian personality when we moved in together. The idea of having anything more to do with either of you makes me physically sick. I stopped seeing you as my husband the moment you start treating me like your subordinate instead of your wife.
Please, Luna, I'm really, really sorry. I didn't want to do what I did. I just didn't think I had a choice because of how desperate my mom's situation is. I wanted to do whatever it took to convince you to move in with her.
Yes, I know how selfish you are. You don't need to remind me. There was never anything to convince me because I told you categorically that it wouldn't be happening from the get-go.
Fine. Fine, you win. You don't have to move in with her. How about just paying her visits 3 times a week instead?
You cannot be being serious right now. Does everything I say to you go straight in one ear and out the other? This isn't a question of being a live-in versus a visiting carer. It's a question of me walking away and never looking back. We're getting a divorce, you imbecile.
Please, baby, I'm in a really difficult situation here. Mom can't move without her crutches, and she's super stressed. She keeps demanding I do everything, housework, helping her move. I even had her help her sit down on the toilet earlier. She called me 25 times while I was at work today. The house was like a bomb site when I got back. She's clearly not capable of doing this by herself, and I think she might lose her mind at this rate. And me along with her.
So what you're saying is, you want me to do all that crap instead? Thank God I didn't move in with you. Best decision of my life.
I'm sorry, I really messed up, babe. I should never have treated you that way. But if you come back, I promise we'll do this as a team. I'll always be by your side, I promise. I promise I won't leave everything to you. Want to know why that is? Because I love you, my honey munchkin.
Don't honey munchkin me, jerk! You said the exact same thing when she got admitted to the hospital. And what happened? I ended up doing everything. You didn't even help out on your days off. You were always out drinking with your buddies while I was going to and from the hospital like a damn delivery service. If I ever had the nerve to take issue with you, you give me the same old "I'm busy with work" excuse and palm everything off on me.
I know that, babe. Everything you said is true. I treated you unfairly. But but I promise things will be different this time.
It's too late. You didn't protect me from her bullying, and you forced me to do everything at the hospital while ignoring everything I said the whole time. If that wasn't bad enough, you decided we were moving in with her without so much as asking my opinion. I don't need a piece of garbage like you in my life, Eric, so you can go crawl in the trash where you belong for all I care. We're never getting back together, so just hurry up and sign the papers so we can be done with it.
No, please, I don't want a divorce.
The only reason the divorce scares you so much is because it means looking after your mom all by yourself. You don't have an honest bone in your body. I'm sick and tired of you, and I want out.
No, Luna, that's not why at all. I don't want a divorce because I love you. You're the most important person in the world to me. I just took you for granted, that's all. The truth is, I think you're way out of my league. You're beautiful, funny, kind, and caring. Meeting you was the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, I can change. I mean it. I'm ready to turn over a new leaf. I'll never make you do anything you don't want to ever again. And we'll always discuss things before making decisions from now on. Please, just reconsider the divorce. Please, just give me another chance.
You already had more than enough chances. You're the one who blew him. I don't love you anymore, Eric. Scratch that. I don't even like you.
I'm so sorry. I know I messed up. Please, help me. I don't know how I'll get through this without you.
You want my help? Why would I do anything for a guy who ignored and ridiculed me when I asked him to help me? You said you'd take care of your mom's situation, all on your own. Live up to your word, and quit pestering me with your incessant whining. You shouldn't threaten me with divorce if you weren't willing to go through with it, coward. I had no choice but to take Eric to divorce court. However, in a hilarious irony, he was so busy trying to juggle the mammoth responsibility of working full-time and caring for his mom that he couldn't make it to the hearings. Which means I won by default, and I got my divorce without a hitch. The whole thing cost me more money and time than I would have liked, but I guess it's a small price to pay for cutting ties with a mother-in-law and husband from hell. I couldn't be more relieved that that phase of my life is over. Eric sent me a letter of apology through his lawyer after everything was finalized. Needless to say, the letter, on which nothing was written but a hastily scribbled, "Please take me back," went in the trash immediately. I guess he was too busy to write anything else. I like to think his writing was interrupted by yells of, "Son, I need the toilet again!" Realizing his only two options were to look after his mom himself or put her in a care home, he decided to try and set the wheels in motion for the latter. But his mom, who other than her bad leg, was absolutely fine and still pretty energetic for her age, was vehemently opposed to the idea and gave him the telling off of a lifetime for even suggesting it. The thought that he's far too busy to look for love again is incredibly reassuring because it means no one else will have to go through what I went through, and he has to suffer the consequences of his actions all on his own. I hope the two of them stay confined to their bitter, hostile, stress-filled world for as long as possible. That way, they won't be able to bother anyone else. I decided on a change of career while me and Eric were working through the divorce proceedings and started studying to be a carer. I passed my exams with flying colors after a year of study, and now I work full-time in a care home. You might think that's odd, but it wasn't because I didn't like the thought of looking after people that I refused to move in with Eric's mom. It was because I didn't want to look after her. Things can get stressful at work, but it's nothing compared to what I went through back then. And while I may come home exhausted every night, I know I'm making a difference in the world. And that's an amazing feeling. Want to know something else that's nice? Getting paid for my work. If I'd have been dumb enough to move in with Eric's mom, I wouldn't have seen a cent for my efforts. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't anxious about what the future might hold back at the time of the divorce, but everything went surprisingly smoothly, and I'm enjoying adjusting to my new life. I'll never suppress my feelings for the sake of another person, again. Because if we do that, whose life are we really living? My number one priority is my own happiness from here on out. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll meet someone to share it with.
Hey there, Vicky. Is now a good time to talk? I actually had a little thing that I wanted to ask you. Oh, hey there, Lana. Don't tell me that you're about to ask for what I think you are. Again. Oh, but come on, you know how important this is to me, and I don't have anyone else that I can go to about this. I understand that, but it's not like you're asking for some kind of simple favor that's just one and done. I know, but you have to know that it's not like I want to have to ask you like this, right? It's just that you've always been someone that I can count on, and I really, really need your help right now. You know I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't serious, right? You say that, but I'm just wondering if you really tried everything that you can do first. Because I just feel like you and your husband are always asking me for favors. And the last time when you came to ask me if I could give you any money, you said it would be the last time that you asked for anything. I know I said that, but that was only because I thought that things were going fine with Rick and his job search. Needless to say, things did not exactly go as we hoped they would. Well, look, I'm not trying to say that Rick hasn't or isn't trying really hard to look for a job or anything like that. But do you think you can really say that you're doing everything possible to support him as well? I mean, I would think that since the both of you work, there should be at least some wiggle room financially. But I am trying. I'm working really hard to do everything that I can, but the thing is that I just can never get enough shifts at work. And I think that my boss is actually trying to keep me from working sometimes. Actually, I guess I should tell you that I quit my job because I thought my boss was bullying me. But this always happens. My bosses come on to me and then get mad when I turn them down, and so then they cut my hours. I'm sorry, Lana, but just to make sure that we're on the same page, you are 33 years old, right? Yeah, I am, but what does any age have to do with anything that I've been telling you here, Vicky? Well, I wonder if it might not just have more to do with your personality than being some kind of the way to get back at you. No, I am telling you that I am trying really hard. I really want things to work out. None of this is my fault. It's all other people trying to bully me into doing whatever they want me to do. Besides, the thing that you don't seem to understand is that I'm just prettier than the other people my age. I guess you wouldn't understand that, but this is something that I've just had to deal with all my life. Well, I think that some of that might just be in your head. I mean, if you really think that you're always the prettiest in the room, then maybe look around a little more. Besides, I already know that it's not exactly like you like working. You've already talked about how if you could, you would make it so that you never have to work again. Okay, so maybe some of that is true, but that still doesn't mean that I'll refuse to work and the situation calls for it. Wait a second, that reminds me. You said that you had some business partner of yours whose CEO was looking for a secretary, right? You know, that's the kind of job that sounds just perfect to me. I think I would make a really great secretary now that I think about it. Huh? You make it sound as if being a secretary has been a dream job of yours or something. But I also wonder if that's because you don't quite understand just how much work that would actually entail. I mean, it really isn't an easy position, and if you're just picturing sitting around at a desk all day, then you've got things very wrong. Well, then what if you hired Rick for your company? After all, you are the CEO, so you should be able to make that happen easily, right? I mean, on paper, yes, I could make that happen. But given that I would be hiring my brother-in-law, that wouldn't look very good on me. But Rick is more than welcome to apply to the company and go through the hiring process if he wants. The only thing that I know you've told me about how Rick can have angry outbursts and has a habit of sloughing off his work onto others. Not only that, but you've also told me that he's gotten into trouble for taking time off without telling anyone beforehand. He's just a very idiosyncratic guy, that's all. I promise you that he's not really as bad as he sounds. Look, I understand the position you're in, and this pains me to say this, but maybe you should rethink your relationship with Rick. Vicky! What is the matter with you? How could you even say something like that to me? You really think that I should leave my husband just because he doesn't make a ton of money? I honestly can't believe that I'm hearing something like that from my own sister. You do know that it's not like I married him for his money-making skills in the first place, right? I married him because I love him. Okay then, Lana, if you two really love each other so much, then it makes it all the more difficult to believe that the two of you have really exhausted every option to support one another. I'm sorry, Vicky, I'm really not trying to pick a fight with you over this. Look, I'll go and try to find another job, I promise. I just need a little support, and that's all that I really want to ask of you, okay? I really do want to help you, and I want to believe that this time it will be different, but we've done this song and dance so many times before. Please, I promise you that this time really is going to be different. You have my word. I mean, you know that we have to take care of Erin. She just started high school, so that fact is at the top of all our other expenses. We've also got a growing teenage daughter to help put through school. Did you know that Erin didn't even have a cell phone? Wait a second, your daughter is in high school and she doesn't have a cell phone? We just can't afford it. It's not that we don't want to give her one, but we just can't make it work. But what about even a simple data plan with a really basic phone? It's really important for a girl her age to be able to stay in contact with her friends. You have to at least get her a cell phone, Lana. Well, I am telling you that we just can't afford it. Although you could always buy her a phone and pay for her plan if you wanted to. Okay, fine, I can do that. I'll go and pick out a phone and buy a SIM card, and then I'll send it to your house. Just ask Erin what kind of phone she wants. Well, I'm really happy that you want to help out your niece so badly, but there's still the question of how you can help Rick and I. I think that you're asking me for a lot of trust right now, Lana. I mean, every time I've helped you in the past, you stop talking to me completely until you need more help. You really don't do a good job of making the people who help you feel like they're appreciated beyond what they can do for you. Well, if you want me to call you and talk to you more often, you should have just said so. I promise to keep you updated about my job hunt, and I'll let you know if I find anything. I mean, did you know that we can't even afford to pay all of our utility bills? So now it's a matter of choosing between water, electricity, or gas this month. Okay, I get it, but I want you to know that I am not giving this money to help you and Rick, but to help your daughter. But this really is going to be the last time that I help you out. I mean it. You need to find a real job and support your family. Thank you so much. I really am sorry for this. I know that I'm always bothering you for help, but I want to let you know that we really appreciate it. I mean, you know that I had to drop out of high school to have Erin, so I never even got my diploma. I'm sure that you must think I'm an idiot. Lana, of course I don't think that you're an idiot. I don't think that at all. But I think you need to learn to work just a little bit harder. And if your level of education really bothers you, then have you ever thought of getting a GED or something like that? I'm sure that having a document like that would help a lot with finding jobs that you would like more. I just don't even know if there would be any point in all that and me getting something like that at my age and where I'm at in life. I think that whether or not it's worth it is up to the individual to decide for themselves. But you should know that there are a lot of jobs to be had out there, and they're not all bad. Either way, I think getting a GED could only help improve your situation. You really think so? Well, okay, I'll go a little more thinking about it in that case. I suppose you're right. I can't always be relying on you to come and help me when I need it. Well, I just hope that you and Rick can find jobs that work well for you soon. Even if you don't work full-time, even a few part-time jobs can go a long way. But the important thing is that you're both working. You understand that, right? Yes, I understand completely. If you wouldn't mind just sending the money to the usual account that you've sent it to in the past. And thanks again for everything. It really does mean so much to me. Hey there, Vicky. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind sending us another $2,000? Wait, what? But I just gave you all some money last month, didn't I? Yes, you did, but I decided to take your advice and go for getting my GED. There's an online course that I've started taking to study for the test and everything. Wait, really? You mean you actually listened to advice that I had to give you? That's a little surprising. Well, I really took it to heart. I want to change myself and be able to feel more confident. I think feeling like I finally finished high school is going to be a huge step for me in doing that. Besides, I can't always be relying on you and Rick for everything now, can I? Well, if that's really what you need some extra money for, then I guess I can make an exception and help you. But you have to promise me that you're going to follow through with this and that you won't quit in the middle. Yes, that's completely fair. I promise that I won't do any of that and I'll see the whole thing through. By the way, have you heard at all from Erin lately? Yes, actually I got a message from her recently and I realized just how long it had been since we last talked. It was really nice to catch up with her. That's great to hear. Did she say anything to you at all? Well, we talked about a lot of different things. Is there something in particular that you're asking about? I just mean was just polite and well-behaved in what she was talking to you about? Yeah, of course she was. She was telling me about what she wanted to do after high school and stuff like that. Oh, I see. So that's what the two of you were talking about. She doesn't talk about any of that with Rick and I. But I guess she doesn't really think much of us as parents. I think she sees right through our money problems. Lana, please, you shouldn't put yourself down like that. I mean, you're the one raising Erin, and I think that's a feat in itself. I know, but having Erin was the whole reason that our parents decided to take me out of their will completely. Well, that's not entirely fair, right? I mean, Mom was helping you at first, but you told her not to tell you what to do, and then you ran away. I know, but I was just so young and stupid then. I really didn't know at all what I was getting myself into. I know, but even so, you made the choice yourself, and that choice still has consequences today. But I really don't think that I could have done what you did. Maybe I just hate change too much. Who knows, maybe that's why I don't have a boyfriend. Vicky, I really am sorry if I had said some rude things the last time that we talked. You know that I wasn't trying to fight with you at all, right? Oh, it's okay. I know that you were just being honest with me. Besides, I'm sure having to ask for help just naturally makes you more defensive. I think you might be right about that, but I want you to know that I really am going to try from here on out. And I have a really good feeling about how things are going to work out. I know it's going to be difficult and challenging, but I'm actually excited for the first time in a long time to be learning something. I just want to be a mom that my daughter can be proud of. Well, I think that if those are the feelings behind you making this choice for yourself, then there's no way you can fail. You have my full support in this, okay, Lana? Thank you so much, Vicky, but it's not just Erin. I want to be a daughter that Mom and Dad can be proud of, too. All my life I've relied on you whenever I needed help. I can't imagine that Mom and Dad have any reason to feel proud of anything I've accomplished. Well, I'm sure that doing this is really going to help your relationship with our parents. And I'll be there to support you all the way through, okay? Thank you so much for doing all that you do for me, Vicky. If you could please just send the money to the usual account, I'll let you know when the course official starts. Great, please do that. And if you ever need any help studying or anything like that, just let me know. Of course. By the way, Rick is also going to start working through a temp agency, so I really think things are going to get better. Oh, well, that is also just really great to hear. I'm glad that you're so optimistic for this. Well, if we didn't do this, then we wouldn't be able to keep living in our house even, but yes, hopefully this ends our financial worries for a while. You'll be hearing from me again soon, Vicky. Thanks again. Hey, Aunt Vicky, are you there? Do you have some time to talk to me? Oh, Erin, what a lovely surprise. Of course we can talk. Is everything okay? I was just wondering if you were already done working for the day? If you're still busy, then we can have this conversation at another time. I don't mind. I was actually just about to head home, so you reached out to me at the perfect time. Thank you for asking, though. Your mom was asking to make sure you were being polite with me the other day, and I told her that you always are. But you don't have to worry about whether I'm at work or not. I always enjoy getting to talk with you. I know, but I just heard from my mom that you were really, really busy with work is all. I am busy, yes, but I wouldn't say that I'm any more busy than anyone else who works for me. Anyways, what did you want to talk to me about? Is there something on your mind? Well, I just thought you should know that I'm looking for a job. I dropped out of high school and I want to work now. Wait, what? What do you mean? Are you serious about that, Aaron? And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Even if it's part-time work, I'm open for anything. I just want to save up enough money so that I can move out and live on my own already. Now, hold on just one moment. So you really dropped out of school just to work? Why would you do something like that? Did something happen at school that made you want to quit? Is everything okay? I wouldn't say that everything is okay, but it didn't have anything to do with school, if that's what you want to know. I see, but then what did happen to make you want to go and do something like this? I just need money right now. I need to pay for food and utilities and stuff. You mean even right now at home? But that can't be right. Your mom told me that you all were doing okay. Well, the truth is that neither my mom or dad have been home at all in the past 6 months. Apparently, they've even stopped paying the rent for the house, so I was told that I have until the end of the month to move out. Hold on a second, you're telling me that both your mom and dad haven't been home at all in the past half a year? And that you've been living at home by yourself since then? Just how have you been supporting yourself? Well, when I started high school, I also went out looking for some part-time work, but doing that in school, I was only able to make a couple $100 a month. So all my work really just went to putting off the inevitable now that I'm completely out of money. There is no way that you would be able to cover the utilities, groceries, and whatever else you might need with so little money. I know, and school has been so much more difficult than I thought. I tried to send a text to my mom asking for help, but she only sends me $100 every now and then. But ever since I texted her telling her that I'm about to be kicked out of the house, she hasn't responded to me at all. I'm all alone. Aaron, I want you to know that I am going to go over and pick you up right now. Wait, you're going to come all the way here? But isn't it a really long drive for you? It's a bit far, but I'll still be able to make it there before midnight. I want you to start packing up your bags and pick some things that you want to keep. You're going to live with me from now on. You really mean it? You really don't mind if I go and live with you, Aunt Vicky? Of course you can come and live with me. You didn't think that I was just going to leave you in such a horrible situation, right? Thank you so much, Auntie. I don't know what else to say. Well, I was just thinking that you and I hardly ever see each other, but now I realize that I should have been keeping a much closer eye on you. I am so sorry you're going through all of this. I really had no idea any of this was happening. I guess that means I can finally make up my mind. Make up your mind about what, sweetie? What are you talking about? I mean that this whole time I thought that no matter how bad my parents were, that I could never just forget about them because they were my parents. I knew that they weren't the most responsible people, but they were mine, even if they hardly ever paid any attention to me. I was so patient with them, always giving them second chances and trusting them, but now that they've done this, I know exactly how they really feel about me. Oh, Aaron, no child your age should have been going through what you are now. You should have adults in your life who you can count on. I hope you know that I'll always be there for you. I mean, you aren't even legally an adult. I know that both you and your mom might think being in high school means you're a grown-up, but there's a lot to learn. Well, thank you so much for wanting to be there for me, Auntie. It really does mean so much. I guess I'll go and start packing up my things. But you should know that you are not going to be working at my company. While you're living with me, you are to concentrate on studying and having fun, and that's that. Vicky, are you there? You're not going to believe this, but Aaron stole all our money and ran away. What do you mean? I mean that she stole all of our money and ran away from home. She took all that we had and left us without even a single penny. I was wondering when I was going to hear from you again, actually. I can't say I'm surprised you're coming to me like this. Like this? Like what? What do you mean by that? I mean that you were probably just about to ask me if I couldn't send you a little money for help with all of this, right? But, I mean, this isn't our fault. We were robbed. Don't you get it? She took all our money and then ran away. It's funny you say that because she's been living with me for the past month. So I really just have no idea what you're talking about. Hold on. You're telling me that Erin is living at your house now? That's right. But she's been here long enough for me to know that there's no way she could have stolen your money. Besides, I know that you lied to our parents about us. You said that I never help you out, you begged them for money and told them never to bring it up with me. So basically, you've been double dipping in all the money you've convinced people to send you. No, it isn't like that at all. I just didn't want you to be burdened with supporting us single-handedly. Oh, please, I already know that Rick hasn't had a job in years, or at least nothing even part-time in the last 6 months. Instead, you two have been traveling abroad, isn't that right? Probably going from country to country where the exchange rate is good and living off all the money you've gotten. You even left your own daughter behind just so you would have one less mouth to feed on your trips. But the only reason I was ever sending you money was because I wanted to make sure that Erin had all that she would need to succeed. Well, it's not like we left her homeless. Besides, she is old enough to work. That doesn't matter. She just started high school and you left her at home to fend for herself for months. Besides, don't you know that Erin can only afford to go to the school she's going to because they offered her a scholarship? She isn't going to public school. And if she can't do her work, then she won't hold on to her scholarship. Erin was just about to drop out, just like you, before she reached out to me. Hold on a second, I didn't know any of that. You can't blame me if Erin didn't tell me that about the school that she was going to. Even if you were telling the truth, that still just proves that you're not fit to take care of Erin anymore. I am going to tell our parents about this and make sure that you are never in a position to ruin Erin's life again. After that, I spoke to my parents, who said they always thought that I had some kind of grudge against my sister. I explained how she tricked us both to get the most money she could. I explained about how they had left behind Erin for money while they were traveling around in the countries where their dollars would go the farthest, all while taking side jobs here and there to tide themselves over. Of course, we all agreed to stop giving them any more money. When they came back from their trip, their apartment was already being rented to someone else, and they had nowhere to go. They begged our parents to let them stay with them, but they refused. In the end, both of them had to quickly find jobs and moved into a tiny apartment that they could barely afford. As for Erin, I spoke with her school and explained to them all that had been going on for the past 6 months. They agreed, in light of the circumstances, to let her keep her scholarship and continue her studies. I told the school that I would be taking guardianship of Erin and I would make sure that she always focused on school.
Hey, Mom. Are you there? I just wanted to let you know that yesterday Rachel and I had our civil ceremony. So we're legally married now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that you were going to be doing that today. Congratulations on that, and tell Rachel the same.
I'll be sure to do that. Thank you, Mom.
And we just have to think of some way that we can celebrate the next time that the three of us are able to get together. So if there is any restaurant that you two have been wanting to go to, just let me know. It's on me.
Thanks a lot, Mom. We really appreciate that. I'll tell Rachel you said that and see if she has any ideas of where we could go.
Of course, the real celebration is all going to happen at your wedding ceremony.
Come on, Mom. We've already told you that we're not going to have a big wedding ceremony. We'd just be happy to get to celebrate with you.
I know, but how can you not want a big wedding? Don't tell me that you two are worried about how much it's going to cost.
No, it isn't a matter of the cost for us. But you know that Rachel really doesn't like to be around crowds and likes being the center of attention even less, right? Besides, you do know that Rachel really doesn't talk with her parents at all.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that until you just reminded me now. I guess I really shouldn't have let those facts slip my mind, though. I'm sorry about that. But if that's the case, maybe we can just plan something small? I mean, surely she must want to have some photos of her in a big wedding gown or something like that, right?
Look, Mom, I'm really just going along with what Rachel has told me that she wants to do. If that's something she wants to do, then I'm fine with that. After all, everyone knows the star of the wedding is the bride.
You are certainly right about that. And that's why I want you to know that if Rachel ever says anything about wanting a chance to wear a dress and get some photos taken, that I am more than happy to help make that happen.
I appreciate the offer, Mom, but I hope that you're not just wanting to play dress up using my wife as the model. After all, I think it's fair to see you can be a little bit picky when it comes to fashion.
What are you talking about? Of course I'm not going to make Rachel into some sort of doll that I can do whatever I want with. But just remember, my mother-in-law helped me when I married your father and thought that I should extend the same offer to be there. Besides, Rachel is adorable, and I just know that she would look beautiful in a lovely wedding dress. And that way, we could take lots of pictures for the two of you to look back on.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there. I do think that it would be amazing to see Rachel in a nice dress for our wedding.
Exactly. Even you can't deny it. That's why we have to create a chance for her to wear one. I'll handle the makeup and renting the dress and everything. I'll make sure that she's the most beautiful bride anyone has ever seen.
Okay, well, if we want your help with all that, we'll be sure to let you know. Just please don't get carried away. After all, this is our wedding, not yours. I just don't want you putting too much pressure on Rachel to perform and be the center of attention any more than she is already going to be.
Oh, you don't have a thing to worry about with me. All I want to do is make sure that Rachel has an unforgettable wedding. After all, it's typically once in a lifetime even that you get to wear a wedding dress.
I really appreciate the sentiment, but Rachel's even more shy than I am, and she certainly doesn't really care all that much about clothes, especially not to your level.
Oh, really? You mean not even a little bit?
Well, I just mean compared to you, who has an outfit ready for every occasion. Rachel's a lot more go with the flow, I guess you could say.
Well, I know that we've only met her a few times, but I guess I just never really got that impression from her. I remember the day we met, I thought she had picked out a lovely outfit to be meeting her boyfriend's parents in. And her shoes were quite nice as well. I really wouldn't have thought that that was something Rachel just threw together by chance. I guess just seeing her dress up like that gave me the impression that she had at least a passing interest in clothes and fashion.
Well, I guess I can see why you would think that. But just don't go too far with all this. Okay, Mom?
Of course not. I'm sure I was just confirming my own biases in my head. Of course, I shouldn't be making assumptions of people. Although now that we're on the topic of fashion, have you cleaned your shoes like I told you to? Those were completely scuffed the last time I saw you.
Mom, you know that I really don't care all that much about fashion either, right? Besides, I'm an adult and I can take care of my own outfits. Thank you very much. Besides, I really don't try and dress up when I go and visit you. Do you want your own son to feel like he's going to a business meeting when he goes to see you?
Oh, please, you know that I don't care about how you dress while you're at my house. But when you go out, I just thought that you'd want to put some more thought into your appearance.
I mean, I don't think I dress like a bum or anything while I'm outside of the house. But I'm not really thinking all that hard about every little piece that I'm wearing is all.
Well, yes, I'm not trying to say that there's any issue with your style. It's just that it's important to take pride in your appearance, at least up to a certain point anyways. I suppose maybe I still just have my head focused on work, on office life, and all that.
Well, you did have a long career and haven't really been retired for all that long. I guess some instincts take longer to change than others.
If you're suggesting that I still have any desire to keep working, then you're wrong. I've been thoroughly enjoying my time with your father. But you're also quite the hard worker. Have you thought about looking into retiring a bit earlier like I have?
I have thought about it a little, yes. especially after seeing how much you've been enjoying the retired life. It'd be nice to do something similar with Rachel one day, I think.
Well, just make sure that you don't blind yourself to everything but work to get there. After all, you still have your honeymoon to look forward to. Anyways, just let me know what Rachel thinks about going out to dinner, and mention to her that I really will take care of the dress if she's interested. Hi there, Laura. I just wanted to let you know that I saw you had left me a few messages, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. Oh, hello, Rachel. I was just curious as to where you are right now. You want to know where I am? Well, I'm just at the house right now. But that's not actually true, is it? What do you mean? Of course it's true. I'm at home right now. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. What is all of this about, Laura? I know that you're at the Uptown shopping mall right now. I'm here too, and I literally just saw you carrying big shopping bags. That's why I wanted to ask about where you are. I really don't know what to say to that, except that I'm not at any shopping mall and I really am home. Are you sure that you saw the right person? Maybe it was someone else. You're saying that you think I only saw someone who looks like you and that you're not actually at the mall? But I was sure it was you. You were wearing a black dress and you were talking with some man. Do you understand why a sight like that might have me a little worried and wanting to talk to you? Laura, I am sorry, but I see exactly what you're saying, and quite frankly, I'm more than just a little offended. I haven't left the house once today, and I really don't want to have to repeat that again. You might have seen someone who looked like me, but I am not that person. I am not talking to any strange men, and I have no shopping bags in my hands, okay? But I really did see someone who looked just like you. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me be frank with you. Do you have any evidence at all about what you're claiming? I mean, did you happen to take a picture of this person who you think looks like me? No, I didn't take a picture of her, of course. Well, if you don't have any proof that we can confirm what you're saying against it, it seems to me that there's a high chance that you're wrong. I mean, no offense, but I've known other people who, when they get to your age, swear they are always seeing things that aren't really there, so maybe you should be talking about this with your doctor and not me. Now hold on just a second, even if I did make a mistake. I am certainly not so old as to have that be the problem. But I understand that perhaps I'm not the best position to carry on with this line of questioning. If you had any kind of proof at all, things might be different, but you don't, and that's a big problem. Or is this just your way of having fun? Do you enjoy treating your daughter-in-law like this, leveling baseless accusations against me just so that I'm always on a back foot trying to defend myself? Of course not, Rachel. It's nothing like that at all. I mean, I am so happy that you're with my son and that you both make each other happy. It was really difficult for me to muster up the courage to ask you about the person that I saw. Well, I guess it's a good thing we got to the bottom of this and know that you were just mistaken. Because I find it very upsetting that you all but accused me of cheating on my husband so soon after we've just been married. And so you're really telling me the truth about you being at home right now? You really haven't left the house at all? Laura, you really have no right to still be asking me about this when you don't have any proof of what you're talking about. Now I am really starting to get upset with you. I thought that you and I were getting along well, but maybe now I should rethink how I feel about you.
Mom, you haven't been bullying my wife lately, have you?
What? You're asking if I've been bullying Rachel? Of course not. Nothing like that at all.
Well, Rachel is telling me that you have been, and that she doesn't want to see you ever again. I told her about the memorial that we were going to next week, and she asked if she could just stay home. She is terrified to even be in the same room as you.
I had no idea that she was so upset.
She was crying to me about you, Mom. She was saying that you have a whole other side to you that you don't let your family see. I've never seen her so upset.
Okay, come on, I really don't think that I'm that scary. If there's anyone to be scared of, it's Rachel.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Mom, you do realize that you're in big trouble right now, don't you? I don't want to fight with you, but you can't treat my wife the way that you've been treating her, okay? So just please apologize to her.
Hold on, you're telling me that I have to apologize to her?
Well, of course you do, Mom. I don't think you get it. Rachel wants to stop talking to you entirely. That's how upset she is.
Oh, well, if that's what she wants, then fine. I don't really feel like talking to Rachel either, if that's how she's going to be.
Mom, what has gotten into you? Why are you acting this way? I thought you said you were glad I was with Rachel. I thought you two were getting along so well. I don't understand what's going on between the two of you.
Well, I felt the same way as you, at least at first anyways, but that was only until I learned the kind of person Rachel really is.
Kind of person she really is? What do you mean by that, Mom?
Oh, son, this is not how I wanted to have this conversation. I hope you can forgive me, but I've been doing some digging on Rachel.
Digging? What do you mean by that? I don't get what you're trying to tell me.
Chuck, you have to know that Rachel is cheating on you. She's having an affair.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Look, I am really, really sorry to have to tell you like this, but I only ask that you listen to everything I have to say before judging. The thing is that Rachel has been dating someone before the two of you were even married. And she is still with that same person right now.
Mom, come on. You really expect me to believe this? There's just no way that Rachel is cheating on me. We have the same friends and acquaintances. So I'm pretty sure someone would have told me something by now, don't you think?
Well, what if your friends didn't know at all that she was doing this either? And what if that was because Rachel wanted to hide the truth because the man that she was seeing was actually also already married? That would explain why nobody, not her friends or yours, would know about this affair, right?
Mom, you're really serious about this, aren't you? You really think that Rachel is cheating on me?
Chuck, you know that I would never be sending these kinds of messages if I didn't think something was happening. And you know that I'm not the kind of person to bully my own daughter-in-law for no reason.
I know, but if you're saying all of this, then surely you must have some proof of what you're claiming, right? I mean, you just said that you were looking into Rachel.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to for the past few weeks now. Ever since I saw her with another man at the mall. At first, I thought he might have just been a friend, but then I saw the way they were acting towards each other. I tried asking Rachel about this later after I saw them, but she just insisted that I had seen someone else.
But you're telling me that you're really sure that it was Rachel who you saw that day?
I saw her with my own eyes, Chuck. You have to believe that I'm telling the truth. You should also know that a couple of weeks after I first saw Rachel and this man, I saw them again just last week.
You're kidding me. So then it wasn't even a one-time thing.
Chuck, you're not okay right now, are you?
I don't know. My head is spinning. This is so much to have it all in at once. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. Please tell me this is all some kind of horrible joke.
Would you like to come over and spend some time at my house? I have some documents and photos that I'd like to show you. They were all given to me by the PI that I hired to look into Rachel. I know this isn't easy, but I really think that you should take a lot of the evidence that we have.
Yeah, I guess I can come back home today if you think it's best.
But isn't Rachel at home with you right now? Are you going to have to talk to her about visiting me? After all, you do realize that this is probably going to lead to you two having to talk all of this between yourselves, right?
I know, but I have to trust Rachel until I've seen enough that I don't have any more reasons to.
I understand. Well, I don't want to make you do anything that you don't want to do, but you should know the truth. And either way, you're welcome back here anytime. You're just horrible. Do you know this? How could you choose to destroy the happiness that your son had in his marriage? I was wondering when I was going to be hearing from you. But you've got some nerve trying to blame this all on me. Well, I know what you did. Chuck confronted me and he told me to tell him everything, so I told him the truth. That he is nothing but an ATM for me to take money from, and that's it. Is that really what you told him? You really couldn't think of a nice way to put things? You're the one who seems to take the most joy in hurting Chuck, you know. I really think that you should have done a better job raising Chuck right. Raising him right? Just what is that supposed to mean? Chuck is a good boy, and I'm very proud of him. Oh, please, don't you realize that you completely sabotaged Chuck? You should have warned him about the people who might want to get close to him when he makes all that money. All I had to do was bat my eyelashes and give him a little bit of attention before I had him wrapped around my finger. You're the reason it was so easy to trick him. You really are horrible, do you know that? If you didn't really want my son to marry you, then you should have said that. You don't seem to understand I'm already in my mid-20s. It's high time that I settle down. I was ready to quit working and find a man rich and dumb enough to give me the life I wanted. And everything was going so well with no problems at all until you butted in. If you're telling me that I should have just let you continue to cheat on my son without telling him, then that is simply taking things too far. And just what would be so wrong with that? After all, he loved me, and I told him that I loved him. Nothing would have ever come between us if you didn't do what you did. How can you honestly try and put the blame on me when you were the one that was having the affair in the first place? You need to grow up and accept responsibility for what you've done. And just how should I do that? Are you going to tell Chuck to sue me for the affair? Because I'll pay whatever it takes. After all, now that the truth has come out, my real man said he'll pay for whatever you can throw my way. And he's quite rich, so I'm not worried. Are you sure that that's going to work out that way? Because I'm quite sure you'll be the one paying for this. And just how do you figure that when you don't even know who it is that I've been seeing behind Chuck's back? Well, you're wrong about that. In fact, I've already told his wife about what's going on between the two of you. When I told her, though, she had already had her suspicions and couldn't help but laugh. She said it was funny because her husband doesn't have a penny to his name. What in the world are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense at all. You really must not know much about this guy. Otherwise, you would know that the breadwinner is his wife who owns her own business. He just spends all of her money and doesn't work at all. But when he found out that his wife knew, he went to her begging for forgiveness. So it might be your turn to do just that. Wait a second. You're telling me that it's actually his wife who runs the company? That's right, although I understand that this man lied to you and told you that he was in charge. But then, you mean I'm really going to have to pay everything? I'm really totally on my own in this now? That's right. You thought that you could live your life leeching from man to man, all while only caring about what they could do for you. You didn't even care that you had been caught because you were so sure you would have someone else there to clean up your mess for you. But I have Chuck with me right now here, and I told him all about what you've done. There isn't a secret you have that we don't know about. Okay, I understand that I hurt Chuck. But that wasn't my intention. I never really wanted to hurt him. If he's there with you, can't you just let me talk to him? No, there is nothing to talk about. Chuck has already told me that he plans to divorce you and sue you for the affair. So I would quit wasting any more energy trying to plead with me to speak with Chuck. Your time would be better spent looking for a good lawyer. But this isn't how things were supposed to go for me. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Please, you can't do this to me. I am not doing anything to you. All I've done is let my son know the truth. Everything else is of his own volition. If you're looking for someone to blame, you have no one to turn to but yourself for answers. You lied and manipulated my son. Then you tried to gaslight me into thinking that I didn't see what I knew I saw with my own eyes. But now your lies have finally caught up to you, and you are going to pay for what you've done. After that, I heard that Rachel went back to her hometown to try and live with her parents, knowing that Chuck would cancel the lease on their apartment. Unfortunately for her, she didn't think things very far through, as Chuck's lawyer had to forward her his letter to her parents' house as well. I hadn't told Rachel's parents what had happened, but when they saw and read the letter outlining the lawsuit she was facing, they learned all about what a liar their daughter was. Rachel begged and pleaded with them to help her out and that she didn't have anywhere else to go to for help. Her parents agreed to pay all her legal fees, but in exchange, she would have to find a job in her hometown and would be under strict supervision from her parents. I knew that they weren't the kind of people to let her get away with slacking either. As for Chuck, he continued living with me for a few months while he got through the divorce and got back on his feet. After that, he moved out and into a new apartment. He still comes over frequently, but I can see that he's slowly moving past this horrible betrayal. I only hope that one day my son will be able to trust someone the way that he once trusted Rachel. Hello, Clarence. I was just wondering if you had a moment to talk really quickly right now?
Oh, hey there, Mom. Yeah, I can talk for a little bit. What's up?
Well, it's just that it's almost the anniversary of your father's death, and I was wondering if you'd like to come visit his grave with me? I was thinking that we could try and make it there to clean up around the grave sometime next Sunday.
Oh, shoot. I really don't think that Sunday is gonna work. I already have plans for that day.
Well, if you already have plans for this time of year, then you really should have told me. Because last year you said that you would make time to do this with me, and that's why I'm telling you about it now.
I know, and I really am sorry, Mom. Honest. It's just that it's always busy over here, and I just don't think I'm gonna make it over there. But I promise that I'll find some time to visit Dad's grave soon, okay?
Well, do you mind if I ask just what you're busy with that you can't even make it over here?
Well, I think it's just that Sophie wanted to go to her parents this year.
But I thought that both of her parents were dead, right?
Yeah, both of her parents are dead, but that means they both have graves, right? And they both died around the same time that Dad did, so...
Oh, really? Did they? I didn't actually know that. Besides, I could have sworn the last time I talked to Sophie about her parents, she told me they had both been cremated.
I think you might just be imagining things, Mom. Because that's not true, and I don't know why Sophie would say something like that to you.
Well, you could be right. I might have just misheard. But I suppose if Sophie is wanting the two of you to visit her parents' grave, then that's okay.
You mean you're not upset? You don't mind if I do this with Sophie this year?
Of course not. Why would I be upset or angry over this?
Well, I was just worried that you might see it with Sophie being selfish or something like that. I don't know. I just thought that you would have insisted that we go over to your house to visit Dad's grave is all.
Well, Clarence, I don't know what to say, except that I thought you would know that I'm really not that kind of person. I mean, maybe the people in Grandma's generation might have been a bit more traditional and insistent, but it's not like there's a law that says you have to visit your father's grave every single year or something.
Yeah, I guess not. I just thought that you would be more insistent is all. That really was my bad for misreading that.
Well, I really don't mind at all, Clarence. If anything, I'm glad that you're also taking your wife's wants and feelings into account.
Of course. But I do want you to know it's not like I'm trying to disrespect our family or anything like that. I just didn't want to give that impression since she didn't even make it to Dad's funeral.
Well, you said that was because she was feeling bad, right?
I did say that at the time, yeah. But the truth is that Sophie said she couldn't be bothered getting all dressed up to go to it.
Son, are you really sure that you should be telling me these things about your wife? I mean, I appreciate you wanting to be honest with me, but you need to think about what should be kept between you and your wife. I don't want to be a reason for any kind of drama, so I won't mention that you said this to me about your wife.
I know, but I really did want her to go to the funeral. But, I don't know. Honestly, I think that Sophie has been getting much more selfish recently.
Well, I guess it seems like you want to talk about this with me, so do you mind if I ask what she's been doing?
She's just always expecting me to spoil her and do everything while she does nothing for me.
I'm sorry you're going through that, Clarence. That doesn't sound like a good situation at all. To be honest, I almost can't even see Sophie acting like that. I always thought she was so sweet.
Well, the side of her that she shows to you and the side that I get are quite different. Let me tell you that. And like I said, I think that she's been getting way worse recently. I mean, she says some pretty horrible things to me and acts like it's nothing. It's like I'm married to a completely different person now.
But you two have only been married for a couple of years, right? What is it that brought about this change? Can you think of anything? Because this sounds like something you might want to talk with Sophie about. Don't you think that would do more to address the issue than complaining to your mom about this like you're doing now?
Well, yeah, but I just thought I could complain to you like this since you're mom and you'll take my side.
Clarence, I'm sorry, but if these are the kinds of issues that you're having at home, I really would appreciate it if you tried to work it out with your wife instead of coming to me about this. Hello, Clarence. I just wanted to let you know that I've just received a message from Tiffany.
Oh, hey, Mom. You mean my cousin Tiffany? She sent you a message?
That's right. She was messaging me to ask why you hadn't responded to her wedding invitation yet.
I actually completely forgot to. But this just reminded me now, so I'll apologize to her.
You are going to attend her wedding, aren't you? I can tell her that you'll be there, yes?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. But I don't think that Sophie is going to. So I guess if you're gonna tell Tiff, tell her she only needs to reserve your seat for me.
Oh, really? But it's been so long since we've had a big family get-together like this.
I know, but I really don't think that Sophie wants anything to do with our family.
Are you sure about that? Although, I did message Sophie some time ago, and I never got a response from her.
Well, that's because she's ignoring you on purpose, Mom.
Is everything okay with Sophie? I mean, is she all right? Now that I think about it, I've really only been able to meet her a few times for all the years that you've known her. I don't know, I guess she just never really struck me as the kind of person to change personalities so quickly. Are you sure that something didn't happen between the two of you?
Well, it's like you said. You've really only gotten to meet her a few times, so I don't really think you'd understand what has happened between us.
Just because I haven't gotten to talk to her that often doesn't mean that I wouldn't understand. I'm more than double your age, son. I've learned a thing or two about life in my day, you know?
I know, Mom. But just because you lived a long time doesn't mean you have the answer for everything, okay? I'm glad that you're so confident in yourself, but I think that confidence gets a lot of older people in trouble when it comes to getting scammed and stuff like that. And besides, Sophie isn't the kind of person that you think she is.
Well, I understand what you're saying, Clarence, but you keep coming to me to complain about your wife.
Well, that's because it's really, really hard to be married to her. Not only that, but she's always on my back about money and telling me how much I can spend.
Is she not giving you enough money to get through the work week?
That's right. She takes all my money and barely gives me enough to get by while she spends everything on herself. And no matter what I try to say to her, she just won't listen to me.
Clarence, what on earth are you talking about?
I mean that this is the person that Sophie always really was deep, deep down. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how Sophie tricked me and how she puts me through hell every single day. She doesn't do anything around the house. She just runs around spending all our money. Who knows? Maybe she's even out cheating on me with some other man.
Clarence, I wonder if you wouldn't like me to try talking to Sophie about how much all of this is bothering you?
You can't be serious, right, Mom? You don't really want me to set up a chance for you two to talk, do you? I mean, I don't even know if that would be a safe thing we could do. Besides, no matter what I try to tell her, I know she won't listen.
Well, then maybe I can just go to your house and talk to her in person there.
I just don't think that she's going to want to meet with you at all. Please, Mom, you don't have to do this. Thank you for the offer, though.
Wow. Well, if that's the case, then this whole thing is much more serious than I thought. I'm really sorry, Clarence. I suppose I should have been more worried about this from the very start.
Well, I'm just glad that you're starting to understand just how serious the situation is now, Mom. Because I really don't know how much longer I can stay in the marriage. I mean, I barely have any money. I get yelled at all the time. This just isn't how I pictured my life going. You know, she doesn't even cook for me when I get home. And I have to ration the money she gives me so that I can afford lunch every day. Even if most days it just ends up being a few pieces of bread.
Son, do you want to come and stay with me for a little bit? I don't live all that far from the city, so you should still be able to get to work just fine. And maybe it would be good to put some distance between you and Sophie for the time being.
No way! I could never ever go and stay with you like that, Mom. I know that we can work this out if we try.
I see. Well, then I guess Sophie really isn't the person I thought she was. I was sure that she was a quiet, calm, well-mannered woman. I certainly hope that whatever you do, you find a way to get back the woman that you thought you married.
Thanks, Mom. I don't know how I'm going to make it work. But that doesn't mean I should just give up. I'll try talking to Sophie about this one more time.
I really think that would be a good idea. I think that a lot can be accomplished over the course of an open conversation.
Thank you so much, Mom. There's just one last little thing that I have to ask of you. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind buying a gift that I could give to Tiffany for her wedding. The thing is that Sophie would never give me enough to buy any kind of serious gift to bring, so...
I see. Well, if it's money you're worried about, don't be. I'll be more than happy to buy something and say it's a gift from you.
You really are the best, Mom. I owe you so much. I just wanted you to know all of this so that if something were to happen to Sophie and I, it wouldn't surprise you is all.
I understand, Clarence. Thank you for talking to me about all of this. I really do hope that you two can figure out a way to get along again. I really am worried about you, son, but I'm glad that you talked to me about this.
Thanks for understanding, Mom. I really do appreciate it. I know that I can be difficult to deal with when I get like this.
What are you talking about? You're not like anything, Clarence, I promise. Being married isn't always easy, and sometimes couples go through these kinds of things.
Well then, hopefully that means that if I just hang on a little longer, we'll be able to get through this. I'll let you know if anything else happens, Mom. Hey, Mom. I was just wondering if you had a moment to talk really quick.
Hello, Clarence. I'm actually glad that you messaged me. I had something that I wanted to talk to you about concerning Sophie.
Well, what a coincidence. That's exactly why I'm messaging you right now, too. I wanted to tell you that Sophie and I are going to get a divorce. I'm sick and tired of her taking all my money and verbally abusing me.
I really just can't stand by and watch this go on any longer. You should know that I am standing outside of your house right now, and I am ready to take her straight to the police.
Wait, what? Mom, you've got to slow down. You can't just do that. I mean, why would you take her to the police anyways? Don't you think that's going a bit far? We just decided to get a divorce, so I would just keep your distance from Sophie for a while.
What are you talking about? I would be taking her to the police for her own protection. After all, you've been hitting her, haven't you?
What do you mean by that? You think I was hitting Sophie? Of course I wasn't doing anything like that.
Well, then would you care to explain to me why her face is all red and swollen? Or why her hair is a total mess? You did that to her, didn't you? How could you treat your own wife like that, Clarence?
Wait a second. Are you and Sophie together right now?
That's right. I happened to be out doing some shopping when I ended up near your neighborhood. Just then, I happened to see Sophie walking around the block, but I almost didn't recognize her. She looked so disheveled. And when I asked her what happened, she broke down and told me everything.
Mom, you can't trust a word that Sophie has to say to you. I mean it. Don't you see that she's just tricking you?
It's clear to me now that you're the one that I shouldn't have trusted, Clarence. You've been a liar this whole time. Anyways, I'm going to take your wife and we are going to report what you've done to the police. If I see you come around my house, you are going to be in serious trouble. Do you understand?
Mom, please, you can't do this to me. I'm begging you. Please don't go and talk to the cops about me. Can't you just let me meet with Sophie so that her and I can talk?
How many times are we going to have this same conversation, son? I have told you that if you want to talk to her, you should hire a lawyer to speak to hers. Otherwise, give it up because you are not going to talk to her ever again.
Mom, please. Don't you realize I could get in serious trouble? You don't want to put your son through this, do you?
My son wouldn't think it's okay to hit his wife. You are no son of mine. You are nothing but a horrible wife abuser and common criminal.
Mom, please. This is all one big mistake. You can't trust what Sophie tells you. I don't know what she's saying, but it's all wrong. Sophie isn't right in the head. You know that I would never hit anyone. But it's not like Sophie wasn't doing plenty of things that might have pushed someone else that far.
And just what kind of things would we be talking about? You're saying that you're the only one with the patience to not hit her for what she was doing.
Well, you remember all that I told you about her, right? She was taking all my money and saying horrible things to me and was barely letting me eat.
It's funny you say that, because one of the things that I asked Sophie was how she had lost so much weight.
Well, I don't know anything about that. Maybe she just started some new diet or something like that.
I can't even with you. I'm going to protect Sophie from you, and that is that. She's already told me how you stole all her money from the accounts she had before the two of you were married. She even told me that you weren't even letting her see or talk to any of her friends. You've been trying to control every aspect of her life, haven't you?
Mom, do you have any proof at all that anything Sophie is saying to you is true?
Oh, I have proof. Don't you worry about that.
Wait, you do have proof? That can't be right.
You must have thought that there could be no evidence since you took Sophie's phone from her.
What are you talking about, Mom? You don't really think I would do something like that to her, right?
But the thing is that Sophie borrowed a tape recorder from a neighbor, and she has plenty of recordings of all the horrible things that you would say to her. Not only that, but she even has some where you can hear the horrible things that you're doing to her through the audio. And Sophie's already shared all of the files of those recordings with me, so you can save whatever excuses you've thought of.
But Mom, that isn't right. You can't believe that. I mean, it sounds like she only recorded the times I tried to fight back and got mad at her. But I'm telling you that the real bad guy here is Sophie. It always has been.
And do you have any proof of anything, of the thing that you've been telling me about her?
Well, no, I guess I don't exactly have proof or anything like that. But you have to know that I didn't do any of this.
I wonder if you even know that you're lying right now. Does it not bother you to try and trick your mom like this? It's so obvious that you're just interested in protecting yourself and avoiding any kind of consequences right now.
I don't believe it. My own mother turned against me through the horrible lies and false accusations?
And just what about Sophie's money? She told me that she had tens of thousands of dollars saved up and that you spent all of it.
Well, I wasn't the only one using her money. Sophie was also going through it.
And just what is wrong with her spending her own money? Besides, she told me about how you would only let her spend her money on things like groceries or gifts to you. But that you never let her buy any makeup or clothes or anything that she might have wanted. In fact, now that I think about it, your house really is just covered in your things. I don't even know what Sophie does own.
Mom, please. You really do have this all wrong. I'm telling you. I use my money to buy plenty of things too.
Oh, I'm sure that you do now that you've gone through all of Sophie's. And do think that you asked me to send a gift to your cousin because you were too poor. You really are too much, you know that? I don't care what you have to say to me now. I simply can't trust a word you say. But how could you treat someone with no family like this? Or are you leaving her because you realized you won't be getting anything more now that her parents have died?
Mom, please. It's not like that at all. You have to believe me. I'm telling you the truth.
Just how many times are you going to tell me that I have to believe you? I wouldn't waste your energy. I already told you that it's not going to change my mind. I don't care what you have to say. We are going to be reporting all of this to the police.
Okay then. I'll get the divorce and I'll get out of Sophie's life. Just please don't go to the police. Anything but that.
If you really don't want the police to know about this, then you are going to have to pay back all of the money you stole from Sophie. Not to mention extra for all the horrible things that you've put her through.
But why should I have to pay back that money? I mean, it became our money once we got married, right? It doesn't seem fair to have to pay back what was mine.
Oh, okay. I guess in that case, we'll just go to the police. Is that what you want instead?
Mom, come on. She had something like $30,000 when I met her. You really think that I can pay all that back like it's nothing?
Sophie telling me that she didn't spend a penny of her own money on herself. You are going to pay it all back. Do you understand?
Okay, well, if I'm going to pay all that money, then you can't seriously expect me to pay some kind of compensation money on top of that, right?
Of course I do. You put your wife through something traumatic, and now you're going to have to pay for it. So you can either cough up the money now or do it later in court after your arrest.
Mom, please. I just really don't have that much money right now. I can't afford to pay what you're asking me to.
And just how long would it take for you to ever be able to afford what I'm asking of you? I don't care if you pay it in installments or if you have to take out a loan. You hurt Sophie, and you're going to do something to set it right.
I really am sorry, Mom. I promise that I'll never ever lie or hurt someone the way that I hurt Sophie ever again. But I need you to give me a break here. If you can do that, then I'll never ever go near Sophie again.
Oh, you already won't be getting near the poor dear ever again. I'll make sure of that.
How can you do this to your own son? Don't you care that you're ruining my life right now? I mean, I thought that you were on my side in this. You're my parent. I already said that I was sorry and I would never do it again. Isn't that enough to fix this all?
I really don't think that you are sorry, though. You can say that you are all you want, but you're not suggesting anything else that you can do to prove it. You tried to sever your wife from the outside world so that she would have no one she could go to for help. All I'm doing here is making sure that you understand how you made her feel. After that, Clarence and Sophie began their divorce process. Clarence agreed to pay back all of the money he had stolen from Sophie, as well as enough to compensate for the damages he had caused in her life. He had the gall to ask me for help again, but I simply shot him down and told him that he had to take responsibility for his own actions and face their consequences. In the end, Clarence ended up selling his car, moving into a much smaller house, and tightening his belt as best he could. But he still couldn't avoid going deep into debt to afford the repayment. According to the lawyer's calculations, it was going to take Clarence a few years before he could ever pay back Sophie. However, we figured that not reporting Clarence to the police was a good way to hold leverage over him and force him to stay in line. By then, I had already decided to disinherit Clarence, as I wanted nothing to do with him ever again. Being left without an heir, however, I took Sophie under my wing. In time, we became closer, and I told her that I wanted to leave all of my possessions to her. Apparently, Clarence heard that I'd done this and began calling me, begging me not to give everything to his ex-wife. He begged me and told me that as the son, he must surely have some right to something. All I told him was that I didn't know what he was talking about, since I didn't have a son. After that, I cut Clarence off and never heard from him again. I only hope that he learned his lesson and knows to never treat someone the way he treated Sophie again. Of course, if we ever hear that he has, Sophie and I agreed to go to the police about what he had done to her.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.